Hello, hello, and happy New Year. Oh my goodness. We are back. Let's turn off that Christmas tree. Where's that Christmas tree off? It's no longer Christmassy time. It is New Year time. I don't have like fireworks or anything cool like that. That'd be pretty cool though if I did in the stream. It's good to see everybody. Aiden, welcome back. Thanks for being a member. Jose Nuno, also good to see you as well. It is a nice Friday morning here in the Pacific Northwest. Smash that like button. There you go. Oh, and that subscribe button. Don't forget the subscribe button. Oh my goodness, that's great. Yeah, I mean that's definitely the YouTuber mantra, right? I've even thought about, in the bottom right of every YouTube video there's a icon, and like right now it's just like my logo, that the JM logo, but on almost every single YouTube it just says subscribe, and I want to do some A/B testing because the developer in my mind wants to like see if that button actually does anything. I'm going to change it to just a subscribe, like the word subscribe, and see if that does anything. Sergio, nice to see you. Happy New Year from Spain. Love Spain. Can't wait to get back one day. Drinking some coffee. Just made some coffee. If you're ever wondering what is James doing during those 5 minutes, making coffee and trying to dry his hair. That's what he's trying to do. He got long hair, just stays so wet for so much longer. I'm glad the chat is working. This is the Streamlabs stuff, and last time it wasn't working, and now it was working, so it's kind of cool. Although it doesn't seem like it has, well, it has little icons. Oh, interesting. That's fascinating. It's also interesting because I'll tell you this, you can't really see it, but in the Streamlabs widget right here, this widget right here, how do I do that? There, right there. It updated faster than the YouTube chat that I can see from the portal. Jose asks, yesterday there was an awesome live.net Maui session called Comet with Clancy. Yes, we talked about MVU, Comet, etc. with .NET Maui. Yeah, so this is a project that James Clancy has been working on for, I don't know, 2 years, off and on, different hackathons, different things at work with different people. And it started as a Xamarin Forms way of building apps with MVU style. And also before .NET Hot Reload, it had Hot Reload in there based on MVU and different sort of hot reloading mechanisms. I think now he's changed it over to the official .NET Hot Reload. But yeah, it's just an MVU code first style. So it's an experiment, I would say. It's on the GitHub. On the GitHub, github.com/.net/comet, I'm pretty sure. Yep, there it is right here. So you can see it's been a long time since it originally started, and there's lots of forks and there's some stars on there as well. Like I said, it's an experiment currently to kind of, ooh, this is a really, hold on, let me get over here really quick. Hello from Brazil. Hey, Jose, it's good to see you. Armenia, hike, good to see you as well. I like that it's just the comet emoji too. That's one of my favorites. So I don't know what this is, but I like it. Camo. This is cool. This is cool. I like whatever this is happening here. I can click on this. It's just an image. It can't just be just an image. What is in this readme? What's in here? It's an SV. Okay, it's an SVG from whatever this is. Interesting. I'm assuming that this thing gets refreshed, this SVG, whenever you ping it and do stuff. Very cool. Whatever that is neat. Jose says he's studying MVU and MVUX, the last one from Uno Platform presented. Uno. Oh, do they have an MVU thing in Uno now? Hey, Mike, good to see you. Thanks for being a member. Appreciate that. Picked the different stream beats today. We got stream beats low key from our main source Harris Heller today. One day I'll get my pretzel rocks. I'm still paying for it over there. Now I'll study Blazor here. Nice, very cool. Yeah, I need to go check out what they're doing over there. They're doing cool stuff over there. Everyone's doing cool stuff. That's what I like to say. Well, I'm glad that some people got to come back. I hope everyone had a great New Year. We literally ended the last live stream on New Year's Eve. Some of you, it was already over there. Kevin says, finally stopped looking for the stream on Twitch. Yes, Kevin, it's official. I have officially moved over here. I tried to, on my Twitch, I'm going to do a little video on the Twitch. I'm not going to like shut down the page because I want to obviously reserve my name and things like that. But like on here, right, it's really hard to say. I guess I need to do this customization thing. But on the about, I just put like that you can go here basically. And I kind of clean this up a little bit as well. So nothing against Twitch. Got plenty of friends that work at Twitch, but it's just hard to focus. Oops, I hit the wrong button. Too many focusings over there. So Kevin, if you missed one of our early streams, I kind of talked about that a little bit about moving over to just streaming over onto YouTube, and mostly because I don't want to have like a strict schedule. And I did years on Twitch, and I really appreciated it and the community and everyone that joined up. But I really focused in the last year on YouTube, like educational videos and building up, some audience over here, which has been super fun to do. And this is a lot of work to like go from Twitch to YouTube back and forth. And then I feel like on Twitch, since like its main thing is just streaming, I had to always stream. So I feel like this is a nice complement where like some weeks I'll release a video, some weeks I'll stream, some weeks I'll do both. Some weeks I won't stream, right? So it's just back and forth there. So yeah, but welcome. Hope you like the video, subscribe, all the things. Uno platform is not just MVU, but a new MVUX. Oh, interesting. I will have to take a look at that. I don't know what's the X stand for? Extreme? EX, I guess. Mike's over in Canada. Good to see you, Canada. I don't know, is it warming up for you? It's definitely been warming up over here in the Pacific Northwest, which has been nice. No more snow. Jeremy, good to see you as well. Now, all of these videos are recorded immediately on the YouTubes, and then you can, there you go, from rainy downtown Seattle. There you go, Jay. Yep. When is it not raining this fall in Seattle? So all the videos are here, and I also put chapters as well, kind of breaking up the different bits and pieces. This whole series, there's a whole playlist on my YouTube called Learning Blazor Live. And it's a 6-part series, 5-part series, 6-part series, 6-part series maybe, that I'm doing because we have this brand new learning path called Build Web Applications with Blazor. So I've been going through that specifically and attempting to learn Blazor, basically. Now, if I pop over here, I like to do it live because many people basically, I've demoed Blazor, and people have been, have done Blazor or learning Blazor as well. Oh, Educator Center. So they've been helping me out, also learning some of the best practices, tips and tricks. And you can see I've done 4 of 7 modules already. So we did the intro to web development with Blazor, the first build a web app, and then we're doing these series, and we're also fixing them up as we go too. Which one was interact with data? We added a SQLite entity framework, a database, shared state between application, and this pizza app. We learned about pages and routing last week, and then also this week we're doing how to improve web forms work in Blazor web apps. So how to use Blazor forms and event handlers and validate data without using JavaScript, so all in C#, so which is super cool. And then next week or the week after, I might be out of town, I'm not sure, doing some interactive rich components and then also reusable components. And one day, if you're on this page, these will have new fancy icons too. The team, it takes them a little bit of time, but they definitely do that. Cool, I'll go back, Jose, I'll definitely take a look at that. Very cool. I will take a look at that. Nice. Anyway, so I'm here all the time, and you can always ask me anything you want, as many people have done in the chat. So I do these live compared to just videos where I got to answer comments all the time, which is totally fine. I like comments, but sometimes it's fun to chit chat as we go. So let's do it. I'm ready. I'm ready. So we're going to be doing, I did this one, how to improve web forms work. Some of y'all are doing it along at home with me. That's cool too. This is the first time I've done it. I haven't done it before. So it's an adventure. Sometimes we find bugs in the learn modules and we fix them up later, which is quite cool. So kind of part of my job here to not only audit, but learn and do stuff. So kind of I consider this my learning time over here. So yeah, we're going to learn about Blazor forms, not web forms, even though it says web forms.
and validate data. So this is cool because we're going to write client. We're going to do it without writing client-side JavaScript at all, which is cool. So if you've never done a Learn module before, they're an interactive training basically for free over here. Oh, there you go. Jay's working through these along with us. Cool, Jay. Awesome. I've had some people also follow along, go ahead, and then find some things and then DM me on Twitter and then be like, hey, this thing is wrong or whatever over here. So it's kind of quick fun. So you don't even need to sign an account, but I'm signed in with my my Microsoft Docs, you know, login account or whatever. So it kind of tracks all my status, and you can see like all the like different awards and things that you've done or whatever. So let's do it. Now, ideally here it says like you've used the command line, you know, loaded a C#, you've installed the .NET SDK and VS Code. So if I open up VS Code over here, and if I do, that's what we had before. So let's close this folder. Boop. And then let's delete any of the previous work. Is a web form or Blazor web form? I think it's just like data entry forms. Like I think it's form controls. We're gonna find out. So we'll find out. So I'm going to open up a new terminal over in VS Code. I'm going to say .NET info. No, version. There you go, version. And I'm on, whoa, what am I on? I'm on some crazy preview. Okay, I'm on some, oh, you know why? Because I updated Visual Studio. Oh, that's fascinating. I updated Visual Studio 2022 preview. What do I have? Visuals, what do I have? Whoa, Damien. Thank you so much. $10. Oh my gosh, I just found Merge Conflict for Christmas. I'm on episode 24 and I'm loving it. Greetings from California. Damien, thank you so much for the super chat.
It's amazing, so amazing, so amazing.
Thank you so much. Yes, absolutely fantastic. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying Merge Conflict. You only have about another 285 hours of Merge Conflict to get through. Although that being said, I am watching the Great British Bake Off and we're just grinding through a lot of those episodes just nonstop. So you can do it. So I have that installed. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for the donation. Of course, we do tons of donations throughout the year to different charities around the globe. So super appreciate that. And also, you know, appreciate just the support on the channel. Super chat. I don't even know how super chats work, but they're there. Yeah, feedback from me. It dramatically, Merge Conflict dramatically changes over the years. So if you don't know the podcast that Damien over here is talking about. This is me and Frank over here every single week. We just did one on the tech highs and lows of 2021. That was a good recap. And our next week's episode we already recorded. It's super fun. So you can see I've been a little lazy by not putting artwork. I get on it. Come on, James. This was one of my favorite ones. We analyzed Squid Game's motion detection. I like that one a lot. That was cool. And then Frank did this here. That's cool. So, all right, cool. So I'm logged in. We're good to go. We're gonna hit start over here. And I like to just kind of read through these as if I'm doing it myself with all of you. So this is the intro over here, and you can see there's 8 units. And there's like, a lot of them are set up as like learn something, read something, do something, read something, do something, read something, do something summary. So like this is kind of how it's done. And some of them on Learn modules, like you can do them in the browser, right? So if I go to docs.microsoft and then I go to like .NET, like since we're doing Blazor, we're gonna do it locally, which makes sense over here. But if I was to do like C#, for example, and if I go in, let's say I'm like learning about storing and retrieving data stuff, and I can just write the C# code over here, which is cool. So I can just say like run it, and then it'll put it over there, and then I could do like a console dot write line, right? And I'll say first name like that, and then run it. And then it's just gonna run Bob. And I could say, Damien, thank you for the support. And then run that, and then it runs it. So it's like right in the browser, a little WebAssembly action there. So that's kind of cool. So, but for most of the stuff, like if you're using Azure stuff, you can do a lot of stuff like in the browser too. But we're gonna do this all locally and switch between the two. So if you're over here, I'm there too. All right, so Blazor enables us to do this stuff. We know this. Okay, so this is the scenario. We've still been hired by a pizza delivery firm to enhance their customer-facing website. We've been asked to improve the customer experience by entering their address details. Specifically, the company needs to stop blank addresses on orders.
That'd be no good. Imagine if you're ordering pizza, they don't know where to deliver it. That pizza just gonna stack up. No good. So we're gonna use event handlers, and we're gonna learn how to use event handlers and how to use the power of Blazor forms with validation. I'm wondering if this is named accurate. You know what I mean? Like Blazor forms. It seems a little confusing. Just because it says forms in the title. I don't know, whatever you'll think. So we're going to attach C# code to DOM events with Blazor event handlers. That's an interesting name. I don't know what that means, but okay, let's learn it. All right. Most HTML elements expose events. That makes sense. Just kind of like a button click in Xamarin Forms, Montemagno. Such as the page is finished loading, the users click the button, the contents of an HTML page have changed. An app can handle an event in several ways. It can ignore it, can run an event handler written in JavaScript. That sounds terrible. Or you can run a Blazor event handler written in C#. That sounds much better. Okay. So I understand event handlers. You click on something, you take an action or an event occurs and you get notified of said event if you would like to. So there's many events, it says. Most of them event to DOM events. So DOM, not dominoes, is the document object model. That's what that means. This should probably tell me once in this module what that means. Just in case I'm not a web developer like myself, I don't know. Document object model. I think it should say that. I think it should say that right here. I'm going to make a pull request later that does that, by the way. To capture events, you write C# handles of the events, and then bind the event to the method. Okay, so there's key down, on focus. For example, the generated example contains the code shown in counter. Oh, this is the counter one. Yep. So we know this. There's an onclicked event, and sure enough, it calls this method. So these are binding it together. It says many event methods take a parameter that provides extra contextual information. This parameter is known as an event argument. For example, on click, event passes information about which button, it is exactly the same as Xamarin Forms, or whether they pressed a button such as Control or Alt at the same time. Oh, that's important to know. Oh, interesting. This is cool. Actually, you never really see this in any of the examples of passing the mouse event args because it's optional. Like when you create an event handler in like .NET MAUI or Xamarin Forms, like you're forced to put the event arguments there and the sender, so you know exactly who sent it, and it can be reused, but you also get this additional information. So it's actually kind of interesting. So you can give it this thing. Other events provide different event arguments. For instance, on key press, do a keyboard event argument. So I guess that these here are like projections of whatever the JavaScript equivalent is in C#. This is a long thing. Look at this. Oh my gosh. This is so much learning. Okay. There's a lot happening here. Okay. It's a lot to learn. Okay. Understanding event handling in JavaScript versus event handling in Blazor. This is kind of cool too, because one, I never do any JavaScript stuff, or Blazor stuff really. So if I create a function, part of HTML script event, and then arrange to call that function when the event occurs. For comparison with the Blazor example above, the code below shows a fragment from the HTML page that increments a value and displays the result. Okay, cool. So this is using jQuery, it looks like, because it has this JavaScript here. No, this isn't terrible. This is actually, yeah, that's not as great. So it says button, click me over here, and then you grab, oh, that's interesting. There's a script, and you grab the counter ++. It's kind of cool. You just have a var in there. I guess that's kind of neat. And then you kind of like appending. Oh, interesting. So grab the current count ID. Oh, interesting. So that is like compared to this, which seems much nicer, personally. Understanding event handling. Okay, so that's what we just did. Okay. JavaScript does not prefix the names, so that @ that is coming from Blazor. That makes sense. In Blazor code, you specify the name of the event handling method you want to attach to the event. In JavaScript, you write a statement that calls the event method. you specify round brackets and any parameters. The JavaScript event handler runs in the browser on the client. For building Blazor Blazor server, that happens on the server. Although this probably should say if we're doing Blazor WebAssembly, it's in the browser too. My personal opinion. C, important, you can manipulate the DOM using JavaScript code from an event handler as well as using C# Blazor code. However, Blazor maintains its own copy of the DOM, which is used to refresh the user interface when required. If you use JavaScript and Blazor code to change the same elements in the DOM, you run the risk of corrupting the DOM. Oh, that's interesting. So you got to make sure that your Blazor changes are also adjusted for if you do JavaScript changes. So basically, never do JavaScript. No. Here you go, asynchronous. So by default, event handlers are synchronous. If an event handler performs something long, yeah, you make it a task. That makes sense. Cool. A little async. It's kind of nice that you that it's not a, if it actually is an event, like in a button click in Xamarin Forms or .NET, then you actually have to leave it a void. You need to put async void because it is an event and you can't change the signature. But here it doesn't seem like it really cares, which is of interest too. It's cool that you can like link to these documents over here. That's nice. Use an event to set the focus of a DOM element. Okay, cool. So on an HTML page, you can use tab between elements. Yeah, that makes sense. Tab, tab, tab. And focus natural events. On the same occasion, you may need to override the sequence. Simplest way is to perform this test. Use focus async. Focus async. This is an instance method of an element reference object. The element reference should reference the item to which you want to focus. Okay, let's just look at the example because I'm already confused a little bit. So in this example below, the onclick event handler for the button element sets the focus to the input. So I click on the button and then the input does it. Okay, the onFocus event handler of the input displays received focus. Yes. Oh, there's @ref. Yeah, how come sometimes it has, you know, it in quotes and not in quotes? I don't quite understand that. Seems a little bit weird. Oh, interesting. It's like I have this element reference dot. Oh, so I'm actually. Oh, that's fascinating. Oh, so this is like x:\name. Like this is creating a backing field and assigning the backing field. That is highly interesting. As well. So it's just a random element reference, and then you focus it whenever this button is clicked. Oh, interesting. And then this event gets handled automatically. This is just a generic one though. That's interesting. Click to me to change focus, and I change focus. Okay. Write inline event handlers. Ooh, that's neato. C# supports lambdas. The lambda expression enables you to write asynchronous functions. Oh, cool. So you can just put that right in line there. That makes sense. That makes some logistical sense. I like it. I'm into it. All right, cool. Oh, here we go. Another approach. This approach is useful if you want to provide other arguments to an event handler method. The example below, the handle click takes a mouse event args parameter the same way as an ordinary click handler does, but it also accepts a string parameter. The method processes the event as before, but also displays a message to the user if they have pressed Control key. The lambda expression calls the handle click over there. Whoa. Okay, interesting. So, Oh, okay. So, that's really fascinating. So, what this is saying is like you could have created this handle click, but it wouldn't take in the string parameter, right? So what you're doing is you're saying, hey, I know that this thing has a mouse event, so when that happens, pipe it over to the handle click over here, and then pass it that, and also pass it hello. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. This example uses the JavaScript alert function to display the message because there's no equivalent function in Blazor. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I don't know why there isn't. That seems like an odd one. Okay. Use JavaScript interop to call Blazor. JavaScript. I wonder if there's a Blazor. We should have a JavaScript interop one. That'd be kind of cool. All right, cool. Override default DOM actions. There's a lot to learn here. There's a lot happening. I kind of almost wish that these were broken up into micro sort of chapters, in my personal opinion. I don't know how y'all feel. If you're doing this at home, let me know. But that's kind of how I feel. It could be wrong. Several DOM events have default actions that run. Note the injection of a JavaScript in the example. Yes. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's a good point, Jay. Is like you are injecting the JS runtime up here. It's also cool that's asynchronous too, by the way. So that's kind of neat that it actually pops the alert and then you come back afterwards. It's not just like a fire and forget. But yeah, that's a good point there. It's like this interface too, IJS runtime. So that's how you get access to the JavaScript runtime. Which is kind of cool. Okay. What do we learn? Okay, several DOM events have default actions that run when the event occurs, regardless of whether the event is available. For example, on key press, event for input, event always displays the character that corresponds to the key that the user has pressed. Okay, I see. So yeah. Hey, Salvador, how's it going? Good to see you, buddy. We're just on our way learning about events. JavaScript interop, all sorts of good stuff over here. How are you doing? Oh, I see. Interesting. So input over here. So this is like assigning data to the input on key press. That's interesting. I don't actually know what that on key press, but then it would assign the data, but then the value would also be the data. Interesting. That's a Oh, you're capitalizing it. I see. That's fascinating. Oh, I see. Gotcha. You press this. Okay. Okay. I'm like, all right. If you want to suppress this character from appearing in the input box, you can override the default action with the prevent default. What does that even mean? Prevent. Some events in the child element in the DOM can trigger events and their parents. See, I need like a JavaScript HTML crash course over here, to be honest with you. It's kind of confusing. So yeah, because the on key press is a Blazor event on this. So this is saying there's an increment count, which is down here. There's an input of process key, and then prevent default. Prevent default. What? If you want to suppress this character from appearing, how does it know? I'm not sure about this. This seems confusing to me. When the app runs, if the user clicks any element or empty space in the area occupied by the div, the method handle div. Oh, I see. Handle div click. Where is that? Oh, up here happens. Okay. Will run and display a message. The user clicks click me, the increment button will run, followed by the handle div click on the @click event. If the div was part of another element, that is confusing. Oh, propagate. Okay. I see. You have to like say there's a click event here, so if I click on this, stop propagation. It's like extension methods, I guess, kind of on the event. Oh my gosh, so much learning. Okay. Well, there's no syntax highlighting in this. That's a little bit odd. Use an event callback to handle events across components. A Blazor page can contain one or more Blazor components, and components can be nested in a parent-child relationship. An event and a child component can trigger an event handler method and a parent component by calling event callback. Child component can run the method by invoking the callback. This is not 5 minutes. See, I'm going to go to the top up here. It said 5 minutes. Don't think it's 5 minutes. I'm lost. Okay. I'm just gonna keep scrolling. This is too much. There's too much information for me to handle. Oh my gosh. This is... I should read it because there's a quiz at the end. All right. We're almost done. I guess it's the last chapter. This is too long. Okay, so here's an example. There's an parameter event callback. So this is saying that at text component. Oh, I see. This is like this. Handle key press, and then I can pass this component property basically to do it. I see. And this should actually have like key and transform key to capital T's. Interesting. Okay. In this example, the event callback object is a component parameter and its value is applied. So text display. So that's what this is saying. This is like some text display thing up here. And then what I'm doing is I'm passing it this transform text thingy over here. So this is what's doing that. And I need to fix this the pronunciation or capitalization down here. That makes way more sense. Yeah, okay. This is a big thing. Okay, so things happen. All right, cool. Perfect. Button on clicked event callback. When that happens, this happens. I get it. You propagate the things up. Cool. Let's do it. Whew. What features should you use to pass events between Blazor components? I like that it's right there. That's my favorite. That's my favorite. It's right there. So I think it's going to be an event callback, I think is what we're doing to pass events around Blazor components. Because like ideally you basically may want to have things that are happening in a child component to happen up. You know what I mean? That's sort of the idea there. Yeah. Oh geez. What method? These are very fascinating answers here. What method is used to override the default action in an HTML DOM element? I don't think it's throw new exception, nor do I think it's return false. That must be prevent default. That's my assumption. I could be wrong. Over here, let's check the answers. All right, cool. Totally is. Nice. All right, let's do it already. Oh my goodness. Okay. So we know we already have this stuff. So let's open up VS Code again. And I just did .NET SDK and I totally have 6 whatever. Whoa. Hey, Carlos. Happy New Year. Good to see you. Appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. We're just getting finally into some Blazor activities after much reading. That's pretty much it. So I've .NET 6 installed. Hope you had a great New Year as well. Hope everyone in the chat did. That's good to see you. We're slowly getting through some learning over here. It's good.
It's amazing, so amazing, so amazing.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. If I haven't created a Blazor app before, check this out to install the correct version. What is this? Blazor getting started? Oh yeah, I already did it. Yep, okay. Okay. So we're gonna clone this thing over here. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do here, and let's do CD desktop. Let's paste this in here. And then let's CD blazing pizza. Okay, and then I don't know how to like open it directly in the same instance because it always opens now a new instance. But that's not what I wanted to do, but it's there. Okay. New terminal. Okay. So we have our app. These projects have these starter projects. So what it's saying here is that I can just open it up, hit F5, and I should be good. Because they've configured it already, hopefully, to do stuff. So we're going to restore some NuGets. There's a VS Code thing over here. Let's see what it's doing. Oh, terminal. I hit F5. You can also do .NET Run. You can do .NET Watch. You can do a bunch of stuff over as well to run it. But we're just going to hit F5, which puts it into debug mode. So this should run our app. Boop. Cool. So pretty much this module picks up where the last one left off. So last time we added these little clickers over here. We configured the pizzas. We had our little order thing over here. We placed an order. So this is sort of what we had done previously. We had a little track on here. We added a bunch of other stuff in our version, but yeah, this is all here, which is cool for Blazing Pizza. Copyright 2022. That's new. Cool. So let's hit Shift F5. I like to just hit this button right here. No need to magical commands. All right, cool. So let's see what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna refactor the checkout page. In VS Code, open the checkout page. At the moment, the checkout page just shows a list of pizzas that have been configured. You've been asked to refactor the page to include an address section. Yeah, okay, so if we did, I like to just do .NET Watch over here. If you do .NET Watch, it'll put the hot reload stuff going on there. I think that's kind of nice because you can just do most of your changes anyways. So if I click, let's add a pizza, let's order it, hit order. So this is the checkout page. So we can see here it says /checkout up here. So I guess I need to add an address instead of sending it no information. That makes logistical sense. So replace the existing main block to have 2 columns. All right, we'll see what it is currently. So we go into pages, checkout. Okay. So currently it is the main, and all it does is it loops through all the pizzas in my order, outputs them here, and then gets the price formatted. Okay. So what we want is oh, interesting. Okay, so we're gonna replace that. We're gonna replace this. It's gonna say order review. What's an order review? Oh, we haven't created order review yet, so it's gonna be mad at us. I feel like I could swap these. So I'm gonna do order review first. You know what I mean? Because this thing references order review, but we haven't. I guess. Oh, I see. And address editor. I see. I kind of feel like I could create those 2 first and then do it. Oh, I see. The refactoring references these 2 new things that you haven't created yet. That's how I like to code. I like to pretend like I know what I'm doing here, which is great. So, see, people just come in and try to spam stuff. I'm just going to log it down. Pretty good content. Bidge watched your stuff and learned a lot. Awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Lipius? It's a cool name. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So let's go ahead and put this in here. Let's see this. So here's the thing is like now, if I replace this main, it's not going to compile because these things don't exist. Can I right click and like create a new one? Ooh, create component from tag. Okay. Did it do it? I don't know if it did. Oh, it did do it. Look at this. Whoa, amazing. Okay, cool. Whoa, that's cool. Visual Studio Code, man, just getting in there. Good to see you. Happy New Year as well. Lipius? Let me know how to pronounce it, because then I'll say it correct and I won't feel bad. So cool, I just like did that and then it created the files. They're blank, of course, but they're there. That's cool. I wonder if the page actually reloads or if it knows how to reload. I don't think so. I think it's still like broken pretty much. Because, yeah, because it's not like actually in there yet. Because my assumption would be if I looked at the actual output, see there's like, I don't know. It seems like it compiled. Interesting. Okay. So let's check this out. So we have our order review and our address editor. Double click on those. And we got to create those things. So let's do it. And then there's a place order button. Okay, cool. The above code connects to this. Place order. Yep, cool. All right. So in the order review, okay, this is easy enough. We have a for each loop that just goes through. So we're kind of like refactored that order review thing. So you kind of put that all over the place. So order review, that's easy enough. where a very simple control. It's just going to go through all the pizzas, output everything as expected there. Cool. And then we just have a parameter of order public. That's cool. All right. And then, oh, this is interesting. Okay. So we're going to do address editor, and these are going to use inputs. Add code that uses an input element for each address field. Address. Do I have an address? What's an address? Do I have a model class? Address. Ooh. So we have address of name, line, city, region, postal code. Is it my name? It's my name, probably. Okay, so these are very simple. These are just form entries over here. So there's apparently already some CSS that says a form field. So we have line 1, line 2, city, region, postal code, and there's an address over here. So let's copy that. Just a lot of inputs. That seems cool. All right. It's kind of cool that there's like no other, they're just components. So they're just like just HTML blobs pretty much. So let's do always for hot reloading. And let's see if this stuff is here yet. We have the address class. So we have an address that is passed in down here. Ooh, interesting. Okay. I don't know if it reloaded. Let's see. I don't know. Let's see what's here. Does our order have a... It does have a delivery address. Okay, that's cool. So we're passing the address to here. Oh, I didn't hit save on that page. That is why. And not hit save. You gotta hit save for hot reload to hot reload your changes. Let's see. Oh, hey-oh. That's cool. Okay. I was like, why didn't it reload? Because I didn't hit save. Okay, cool. So this is neat because before it just had the order review. Now we have these inputs over here, which is kind of nice. How do I turn that off? Oh, let me do something really quick here, really quick. Okay. I just wanted to like turn off the data entry over here because I don't know what I've entered on this thing. I don't know if there's like credit card bills on there as well. That'd be not so great if so. Okay. So here we have like James, and I live here and over here and in a city in the US and a zip code. All right, cool. Oh, those are all just strings, I think. What are these strings? Let's take a look over here in our code. If you look at the address, what is the postal code? Everything's a string. String, 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 strings. Which makes sense. Like the postal code, especially if you're like in the UK, is going to have like numbers and letters in there as well. So you don't want that inside this address editor here. But this is pretty unique. I mean, this isn't like the most elegant code, I would say, in the world. Like I never understand, like, why does this have to have a div inside of it as well? Yeah, I don't know. It's always kind of quirky to me how HTML works. Like, I guess the div knows how to like put these things over here or something like that. I don't quite understand how that is necessarily doing stuff, but interesting. Okay. Well, let's see what we did. So it says run it, and we totally got this new checkout page. Rad. All right. So let's improve the usability of the form. When the customer is taken to the checkout page, the first thing they need to do is enter their name. Blazor allows you to set the focus on the element on the page. Okay, cool. So we're going to change the input on the address to do ref start name. Okay. Oh, what is this first? Okay, interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna make this smaller, I think, over here. Let's bring up VS Code. Can I make this? Oops. See if I can make this side by side, because that'd be kind of cool. Oop. I guess you probably don't really need to see that stuff. Ooh, fancy. Okay, that looks pretty cool. Okay, now we're cooking. Well, I mean, coding actually, but yeah. Okay, so we have address.first name. We're gonna add @ref, nice, equals start name. So what this does is this gives it a reference in the code to assign the variable. So it doesn't actually create the backing field, but it's saying that there is something in the code block that has an element reference to start name over here. That's what that has. So it's sort of like you create that compared to like if you did like x:\name and .NET Malware Examiner Forms, like that would create the backing field, the .g file automatically for you. Although I think it should, in my personal opinion, I feel like that should do it. Okay, so then it says that, let me make this a little bit smaller so we can read it properly. There we go. So it says here, and you don't have to even put private on there because it knows that it's private already. So that's good. So it says that there's a override of on after render async. Oh, that's interesting. It's kind of weird IntelliSense there. Okay. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What's happening? Okay. Whew. Okay. So this is saying if first render, we're going to await, make this async. And that's actually kind of cool. After first render. So it's like a DOM event that's coming in. It's like I can do that. Okay. Await start name dot. Okay, so we have focus, we have a toString and an ID. So there's actually not a lot that you can do on the element, but you can focus it. It's kind of weird that you can do like one thing. Sure. All right, let's hit save. And then if I go back over here, it's recompiling it because I must have been a root at it. Okay, cool. So here's a good example. If I'm over here, I'm on the region. If I hit refresh, it jumps back up to the front. Did you see that? Let me zoom in over here. I think that should work. So here, if I'm down on like line 2, hit refresh, it jumps back up to the top. That's kind of cool. Actually, I don't know. Does that? Oops. Did that work? I think it worked. Yeah. Okay, cool. So boom, back up to the top. So if we, or not debugging, but if we were debugging, we could do it first there. So that's kind of cool. I don't know how the rendering works. I don't know how do you know if it's a second render, but okay. All right. Oh, we did it. That's it. That's literally all we did in this module. That's interesting. Okay, cool. I feel like there was a lot to learn and not as much to do in that one. It's interesting. We did refactor it. We did some data binding, but I feel like that was some stuff. You know what I mean? I feel like I want to do something else. Like I want, hey Luce, how's it going? Good to see you. Wow, it's been a while, Luce. Hope that you're doing well as well. Yeah. Good to see you. It's been a while. Happy New Year to you. Yeah, Jay says, agree. They covered more than what we did. Yeah, they covered like way too much. Like, I feel as though the stuff that we learned was the focus and that's about it. We didn't really pass parameters or other things down into it. Like we did definitely pass some references down, but I feel like we learned too much. Happy New Year. Happy many years of merge conflict sponsor. No, I appreciate it. You still go strong. We need to get something going. We're going to create a merge conflict store and then figure out how to do coupon codes and stuff like that. Yeah, I agree, Jay. I think that I learned too much and I did too less. That's my feedback, I would say. Okay, so then it says take advantage of the power of Blazor forms. Okay, maybe it should be the power of forms in Blazor, because Blazor forms sounds like that's a thing. So it says user enters data using forms in a classic web app. I think they're like, hey, there's all this stuff that you can do, and here's how it would work in JavaScript. But I don't know if I need to know all that stuff. Lou says, I keep missing the notifications of you going live because I have muted notifications. Oh no.
Have you found? Yeah, I'm glad that you caught me. What about? Yeah, that's true. I mute notifications all the time. Yeah, that's a tricky one. How to get notifications without getting notified? Ooh, no, I don't know. I was like, maybe there's some if this then that that can override your stuff. Well, I'll try to do a better job of. I've been going back and forth like if I should put the show live the day before or not. Forms are forms everywhere. Yes. Yeah. Because doesn't this sound like Blazor forms, like it's a thing? It should be like form, the power of forms in Blazor. Yeah. So it says users enter data using forms. In a classic web app, you create a form by using the form element. Okay. And enable you to provide data using the input element. Okay, we kind of did that. No, we had like a, I guess we had like a input and a div, but we didn't use a form like Xamarin Forms. Yeah, I use actually the focus mode. I have all notifications turned off on my phone besides text messages and phone. But the problem is I only use focus mode at night for sleep. I guess driving does it as well. But that way my phone doesn't vibrate at night if someone does it. So that's the only thing I'd use it for. I couldn't figure out how to use all the other ones, but okay. So this says if valid. Okay, when the user submits the form, the input can be validated. If the validation is successful, the appropriate actions can be taken, such as using the information provided to add a new entry to the database. Okay. The facilities provided by form and input elements are simple but relatively primitive. Okay. Blazor extends the capability with its edit form component. Ooh, I see. So there's actually like a form, edit form component that is built in. Oh, okay. So this thing, edit form, is a Blazor component that fulfills the role of an HTML form. Ooh. So it's got data binding, validation, form submission code, input elements. All right, cool. So it says the edit form element supports data binding with the model parameter. You specify an object as an argument for this parameter. The input elements in the edit form can bind to property and text and fields exposed by the model by using @bind value parameter. So here we have a weather data. And then we have an edit form down here that binds to specific values. Oh, there's an input date, input number, input text. Ooh, fancy. Okay. Cool. Oh, you can change, current forecast. Oh, okay, cool. I feel like this example is a little bit too advanced for some odd reason. I don't know why they're doing that, but sure. Oh, I see. We have weather forecast. So cool. And it gives you elements. I like that. So we get some elements. We can toggle between these and it's looping through them. Okay, cool. There's also a lot of reading here. Okay. Let me go. Let me go big again. I thought it was going to be small. It was not. It was not. Let's bump it up one more time here. You got an input checkbox, input date, input field. I wish it like showed me what it looked like over here, but okay, this is what it's rendering. That's nice. See, these types on inputs, I never understood. I just want a different control. Okay, cool. So, we got mins and steps and maximums. What's that? T underscore shirt. What is that? Those are T. What is that? Why is that a thing? That doesn't make any sense. Okay. Type of T shirt size. That's weird. Okay. All right. Anyways, so this goes through stuff and you can, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's neat. So this is going to loop through each of the values in there and then output an input radio. Ooh, cool. Okay, cool. So you have a group here. So group them together, blah, 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 blah. Cool. Handle form submission. I'm hoping that we're going to do all this. I feel like this one's on the right track. All right, you can do some stuff. You have an on validate submit, on invalidate submit, on submit. The build. Validate and invalidate submit events are useful for a form editor that implements basic validation at the individual input field. Yeah, it is kind of cool. It's doing that. The only problem is that you'd have to, here I think you got to worry about translation. You know what I mean? Software asks, James, after learning Blazor, are you going to rewrite your website with Blazor? That's a great question. You know, I think we have my website. This is a Ghost CMS. You know, I do have soundbite.fm. I think that, and again, it like sometimes it doesn't even work. There we go. There we go, socket. So I think that this probably would be a better example of rewriting this in Blazor, which like loads stuff and you can click on stuff and navigate around. This is a Xamarin Forms app currently, and it could definitely, it's already an ASP.NET Core application. This I should rewrite in Blazor 100%. I mean, maybe it's not even, yeah, I think I'd rewrite it in Blazor. And I could, yeah. And I'd probably do a Blazor server only because it already has a server because there's this RSS feed that's doing stuff. So I already have a server. So I'd probably do that. Question is, it's not super interactive. Like I'm not like doing a lot of stuff. There's a lot of static content, things like that. But yes, it would get rid of some of that stuff in general. But I did like this because this is all XAML. So it's actually quite nice. But I should do that. Yes. Okay, let's get back. So yeah, translation is the biggest thing to be aware of here. You could do that. You could localize these enum strings basically that you have, which would be nice. Yeah. It's a T-shirt, not generic T. Oh, wait, no. T. Oh, that's silly. T-shirt. I would put shirt color and then shirt instead of a T-shirt. That's so funny. T-shirt. T-shirt. No. At shirt. No one does that. No one does T_shirt. No. Oh my goodness. Okay, cool. That's funny. T-shirt. No, that's funny. That's great. Okay. So we can validate some things. It looks like we have an edit form, a validate submission. So here it's saying we grab the T-shirt and we make sure to see if it's null, and we do stuff here. Okay, so we just validate stuff. We can give it a message if it's not valid. Cool. Oh, save the data. Cool. So the image below shows a result that the user attempts to provide invalid data. Blue T-shirts, T-shirts, not available in small or medium sizes. Well, then why are you giving me the options? Okay. I didn't read any of this, so this is great. Which event is raised when a form is submitted with elements that failed validation? How do you fail validation? That's the one thing so we have validate data. I feel like I didn't learn about this at all. Ooh, you know what I can do, Luce? Are you still around? You want to become a moderator? I'll make you a moderator. How does that sound? I need to find some moderators for my channel, I think. That would be nice. I'm gonna make you a moderator, Luce. Is that okay with you? Give me a thumbs up if so. See, look at this. I don't even know what these people are posting. It doesn't make any sense. Okay. So we learned about these events here. This is triggered when successfully pass the validation rules. When there's no validation rules. Okay, I don't know what the validation rules are. We're going to learn them, I guess, because I validated the data here on submit. So this should really be on submit, not really validate data. But I don't really see the example of like, here's the invalid data. I don't really get it. Software, you want to be a mod too? All right. An edit form has the following features except. What is data cleansing? It's like going on a cleanse. That's definitely it. Okay, let's check the answers. Okay, cool. I did it. All right, let's do it. Whoa. Oh, it moved. It moved automatically. Okay, cool. All right. So let's create an address form with Blazor components. Okay, cool. So it says here, let's go to my checkout page, which is here. Boop. And right now, what we're doing is
it says under the main, add a new edit form component. So we're not going to use this, I guess. What is happening here? Oh, wait, what? Okay. So we're going to add an entire edit form model equals order dot delivery address, and then on submit. This is going to equal checks. I guess you don't. I don't know. Why don't you need the quotes? I don't understand. Check submission. That doesn't exist yet. We're going to leave it there. And saying down here, do /edit form. Okay. And it's saying I should indent these. Okay. I don't know why I'm wrapping the entire thing. Under the div main, add a new edit form component. So let's do this. Check submission. Okay. Does it do anything? Let's see if it actually did or not. No, it didn't actually do. Okay, it didn't do anything. All right. Okay. Oh, I see. So then it says delete this here. Should I delete this button too? On submit, check submission. Oh, I see. Oh, interesting. In the at code block, add the code here. So we is submitting, place order, is submitting is false. Delete the is submitting. Press F5. The app will work like it did previously. At the moment, we've added an edit form component, but we didn't do anything. Okay, cool. Let's replace the HTML. Oh, I see. So we're putting the components inside of it. Yeah. So you go. Vidush says, just made me realize the naming how I'd fallen if every time I made an app with different shirt size T. Is it generic? Is it a shirt? T-shirt is a generic shirt. Okay. So we're gonna change. Oh, interesting. So it says it wants me to go into. So this, if I have hot reload here, this shouldn't change, I guess. Okay, it didn't. So we're gonna go into our address editor, and we're gonna look for input. I like that it's using this find replace all input text, and this one. Okay, cool. So we changed input to input text, which is gonna be the. Oh, we're out of music. Oh no, we're out of music. All right, we'll just play it again. And then in the first field, enter bind in the replacement. Whoa, okay. Bind value. Okay, so it's saying that at bind, oops, oh gosh. It should also not be at bind. It should be, it should be value. Okay, and we can remove this ref. That's what it wants. Ah. Okay. Remove all the code. Okay. In the first field, enter bind. I think it should show you this too, in my personal opinion. Gotta head out. Have a great weekend. Cheers. See ya. See ya, buddy. Thanks for stopping in. Much appreciated. Okay. So we're going to, I just do Control F. And then at bind dash value. Oops, oh gosh. All right, that one did value twice. That's funny. Okay, there we go. Dash value. Cool. Does that do anything different? An unhandled exception occurred. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Are components automatically responsive? Adrian asks, like the width and the input text. Yeah, I think, well, so these use this class, this CSS class here, form field, which I'm assuming is like inside of our CSS somewhere. So I can try to find it here. We can see what it's doing. I mean, it's just HTML, so it should be responsive in general, but if we go to our form field. See what this is doing? It has a little bit of CSS and it's giving it a flex inside of it. So that's why it's a little bit here, I guess. Mr. N says, in case you don't get the answer from James, here's my take. I do not know, but I guess not. I think it must be the same behavior as HTML. Yeah, the components, yeah, they're just HTML components. So the components would, yeah, I'm not sure if I actually know. I mean, the components are HTML things. Like these are responsive, right? It uses Bootstrap, which does take care of almost all the responsiveness. Like you can see this thing grow, right? In general, but you still got like some CSS and some other things to kind of mess around with. Michael's a good one there. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, we have an exception. Apparently I messed something up. Oh, down here we have this. It says remove the code. Okay, gotcha. So I also have to remove all of this. So we did all this, and then we're not going to do it. Yeah. Jay says, I don't like that there's no delineation between bind value address. It seems like there should be an or. Yeah. Bind dash value. Because it's, I guess these are old. I'm not really sure. It's interesting. This is really big. It's kind of cool zoomed in. All right, so let's save this. That should have done it. I don't think there should be any change to my view, ideally. So that's good. Check for empty fields before submitting. Okay. Let's add an error message that the app can show the customer if they don't enter their name or address. In the File Explorer, expand Pages and select Checkout. We have that. Haku says, do you use Visual Studio 2022? Well, I do use Visual Studio 2022 most of the time. This Learn module uses VS Code as the default, so we're just using that. And we're also using .NET Hot Reload down over here in the terminal to run the app, so it just kind of goes, basically. But yeah, I have both of them literally right here. But this one's VS Code. But you can do it in either. And it actually tells you that you can do it in any code editor because .NET runs everywhere, whatever you want to do. So, yeah. But yeah, this is just VS Code. So, but you can use whatever you want. It's your day. It's your editor. Okay, so let's add an error message. Oh, there's a typo here. Okay, so let's do that. Under this. Okay, so here we have a deliver to. We're going to say, we're going to do a bool. See, I always do this first. Bool is error. I'm going to say has error. I'm just going to re-change it here. Equals false. Okay. And then here, I'll do @if has error. Then let us do a div class equals alert danger. Please enter info. I'm just going to put that because I'm assuming that's what it says. Yeah, cool. If it has else, show this. Cool. It's a document typo at line 5 in the extras. You replace @bind with, oh, no equal sign. Oh, really? Oh. Oh, weird, really? Okay, so if we go into here, you're saying, wait, what? Like, no, that doesn't make any sense. Oh. Yes. Yeah, that is a typo. Good one. Good one. Jay, good find. I'm gonna write that down. I go and I do fix-ups after this every once in a while. It's so easy sometimes to do this. This is in section 5. @bind dash value equals. Good one. Cool. I'm gonna fix all the shirt things too. My purse, I just don't like it. Haku says, You have the preview yeah, because they do a lot of .NET MAUI development, which is in preview right now. And you can have the standard one and the preview side by side. It's all the same. Yep. So if you go to aka.ms/vs preview, that's what will take you here. And you can install the VS 2022 preview side by side. You want to be like me. Do you have a vid on your PC setup and how you make videos? I'm working on one about how I make videos. I don't. I have a video on my channel down here, which is on. Yeah, I can send you that. Yeah, it's actually in the description below. But this is where I'm currently at. There you go. Yep, you can do preview side by side. So if you want to use some of the new preview features and do preview workloads like .NET MAUI, you need the preview version installed. And I have 2019, standard 2022 preview, and normal 2022 as well. You can have all of them. Tamir says, are you not going to stream on Twitch again? No, I'm going to put all my streams here on YouTube for the time being. Yeah, I should do a little. I'll do a little integration over there too. No, it's all good. I'll do a chat command that does like info or whatever, so you can always do that in the future. I just haven't set that up. Mr. N says, I would love to see an open source version of your video making setup. It's not that fancy. It's mostly OBS and, well, I mean, I have videos that I like edit and then with Camtasia, and then like this is just OBS. It's not too fancy. So, but I do have one on OBS set up for developers. Take a look down there. That's pretty good too. So that's a good find there at the bind. So I'm glad I didn't change that because I was like, oh, that's wrong. Okay, cool. So let's do this. We have a check submission. So on submit, which I don't know how that gets called. We'll find out, I guess. We'll do that. So check submission. And we'll say, okay, var model equals edit context. Oh, how did this? Oh, it took this in. I see. Just magically knows. Dot model as address. Okay, so we have an address. Then let's see. I'm going to clean this code up too. So I'm going to say if model dot name is null or model dot, oops, no, that's not wrong. Model dot line 1 is null, or what else do we have? Like postal code. Is null. Well, I don't know if the address could ever actually be null. You know what I mean? And here I would do like, oh, I see. Else is place order is submitting equals false. Okay. This one that says is error has error. Whoops. Equals true. And here we'll make sure this is false. Is submitting is okay, false. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, you can just combine these together. You don't really need this. Is this C# and HTML and 1? Yes, we're using Blazor. Haku, Blazor.net. You can run your, instead of writing JavaScript, you can write C# directly in the browser or on a server, whatever you want to do. It's up to you. There's different models, but yeah, you just write it. Like, I'm calling this method and I'm just writing C# inside and side by side my HTML right here. Boom, check it out. Boom, it's all in one. My theme, I like these borders and stuff. Oh, I have a graphics design team that does that. And I use a Stream Deck. I think I talk about that on my OBS setup for developers. Take a look at that. Now when I make a video, well, actually when I make a video, yeah, I have a very simple Stream Deck. Like this is my current one. But if I do profile 2, like this is how I make videos. Webcam, computer, record. That's pretty much it. But this is this one. This is my current one. It's very simplistic. It feels like XAML and C#. I mean, HTML is not that far from XAML, to be honest with you. I mean, these divs and H4s and things like that, it all depends on how you think about it, right? Is there any difference between is null? Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know if you'd want it to be. I think that's wrong too. I think I would do that. I think I would do string.is null or white space here. Let's test it out actually, because I think you're right. I think that is a better way of doing it right here. So let's see if I refresh this thing. Is it going? How does it know to submit? Try to enter some pizzas without entering any information. Let me see if this thing is actually running still. Okay. Order the pizza. Whoa, okay. Okay, it actually, you know, that's odd. I feel like, how does it know? I feel like we missed a step somewhere, because here, place order, delete is submitting line from the place order. Yeah, I feel like it missed by telling us not to do this. You know what I mean? Oh, I guess it knows that if there's any button in the edit form, there would be that. Okay, so if I do, I have it all zoomed in all crazy, so. Okay, please enter info, okay. So that's how it gets it. So here, please enter info, okay. So here, if I do spaces, 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 yeah. Then it submits. So that's totally bad logic. Yeah, totally right. So I think here what I would do is if string dot is null or white space model dot name. Yeah, now you're right. I agree. I agree. That is, I mean, it's a good check, but not as good as this. Good one. Postal code. So now, oh, my pizza's out for delivery. That's good. Now, if I order it, let's see. See, it still doesn't let me do it. It does say it's green though, which is funny, but it's interesting. I guess it just has some value there. Boop. Cool. All right, that does work. Interesting. All right. Yeah, it definitely missing that remove the thing. Yep. Yeah, you definitely want to use or white space, because else they could just enter blank strings, and you don't want that. Is this a test site, or do you really want a pizza delivery? No, we're doing this Microsoft Learn modules, Haku, which is what I posted earlier. So this is, you know, we're going through and we're learning how to build and use Blazor applications. So these Blazor modules are like a training course. So here's the entire training course. I'll post it over here for you to go from start to finish. So I have an entire learning Blazor live that we've been going through all of these. And as you go through these Blazor modules, they you get points obviously along the way, and you get little badges, but you you know, you build this pizza app, which is really cool. Yeah, There is no pizza backend, so it's not actually going anywhere. That's for sure. Yeah. Will there be one for .NET? Yeah, it's already done. It's already done. We're just waiting for like GA bits or like maybe RC bits, I think. So once that happens, then we'll put it out. But yeah, it's totally done already. So, yep. But I would say if you want to like start learning earlier, like you could go through all the Xamarin ones, the Xamarin Forms ones, and that'll really take you a long way. Like what we're doing is we're updating all of the, creating a few new modules that are like .NET MAUI specific, but then we're updating all of the Xamarin Forms ones to .NET MAUI. So they're all there. So if you're already done that, you'll have a long leadway there, and all that stuff is via products.net. So when you go to the .NET page on there, you'll see all these things here, and here's the Xamarin Forms one, which is nice as well. There you go. Oop. Okay, let's go. What else do we have to do? We did it. Oh, this is cool. I felt like whatever we did earlier, we definitely are missing the button, remove button click over there. I think that's probably important. All right, I did it. Where's my next button at? There it is. Continue. Validate user input without writing validation code. What? Okay. In a form, you should provide instructions to the user website on how to complete each value property, but you should also check the values that they enter. Blazor provides simple tools that can perform this validation with minimum custom code. I like that. Validate user input. Yeah, I like that. Look at this. That's great. Okay. Whoa. Oh, that's easy. That's better. All right. Prepare your model. So there's required. Oh. Email address. There's an email address. That's really nice. You don't have to do any regexes. And there's ranges. Oh, I love attributes. Validation never. Credit card. What? Compare. Phone. This. Is it smart to use web client or HTTP client? You can use either. I mostly use HTTP client. So. You predicted it, mister. Yeah. Earl. Oh, man. I like that. It's all just there. Regular expressions are widely used to compare strings. You can use them to find custom patterns. Cool. All right, look at this. And then, yeah, we have, ooh, a validation message. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Oh, we add this data annotations validator. And then we have a validation summary. So this is going to say that this is in here. And then we have a validation message for each of these. Interesting. Oh, and there's a message here. Oh, you must have a name. Okay, that's really cool. You just put them all in here so you don't have to define it over and over again. Yeah, HTTP client is definitely the modern version of it. It's all asynchronous and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what I would use. That's what I use everywhere. I haven't used web client in years upon years. Whoa. Oh, you can do your own custom validation. That's cool. So validation attribute. That's neato. So there's a pizza base, tomato, or pesto. What about oil? I like that. White pizza. Okay. You can use a custom validation. That's neato. Pizza base. Nice. Okay. Handle form validators server side on form submission. When you use EditForm. Okay, still going. I'm like, oh. When you use EditForm component, 3 events are available: on submit, on valid submit, on invalidated submit. If you use on submit, the 2 other events will not fire. Instead, you can use the editor context parameter to check whether the process has done it. So here we have on submit, and then we do validate. Ooh, okay, cool. How much experience do you have in programming? Haku asks. I've been a developer. I guess I'm 35. So I've been in high school. I learned like C++ type of stuff. Then I went to school for game development and worked on Xbox 360 games, mostly in C++. But then I did a lot of C# development there. So that was like 14 years ago. And I did like desktop programming. And then I did mobile development. So I've done mobile development for iOS and Android with .NET and Windows for 10 years. Yep. And then with web, very little, I would say. I mean, I've trickled into web and Blazor to do demos and things like that, but not very much. Like I'm very much, I'm not a JavaScript person or an HTML person or a Blazor person very much yet. I've done more back-end web development, like web API stuff, because I understand that type of stuff. But yeah, so I would say overall I have like, 15 years of C# and .NET development behind me in different jobs and different things, mostly in the mobile space and desktop space, but in the web space, not as much. All right, cool. So this thing has a validate, cool, handle submission. That's this thing, love it. Okay, so we also have a valid submit and invalid submit. Oh, that's cool. All right. Which component is used to display a summary of the validation errors? Oh, I'm going to scroll up because I don't know. All right, so I guess a validation summary. Okay, to display a summary, is the validation summary the summary of it? I think so. Which of this is not a standard input? I remember credit card, I remember email address, but not GUID. So let's do that, GUID. Yes. Okay, cool. All right, let's do it. Add server-side and client-side data validation. All right, cool. Whoa. Okay, cool. So we're going to do this. We're going to come over here. And let's do it. So we're going to go into our address. And well, I think it's a nice thing about the learn modules. You don't have to have a lot. There's like all these C# classes, all that other stuff. Adrian says, one more question. Sorry, what happens when you put error message on both attributes like required and range? Oh, that's a good question. We could test that out, but my assumption is that if you... postal code. Interesting. My assumption is that if you don't specify anything, then it will do the required one. And then if you don't meet the range requirements, then it'll do the range one. I'm assuming it's like a cascade. So whichever one failed, so they didn't put anything in there, it would do that. Yeah. Because I'm assuming I can do, where's this at? This at, oh, we can also update this too. This should be like this. I'm going to change this module, but just get rid of some of these things. There we go. So this should be, I should be able to do required. Yeah, so I see what you're saying, but you could also do min length 3. And then what you're saying is I can do, wait, how did I do it before? Let me go back. Let me go back, let me learn. Where's it? Oh, error message. Okay, got it, okay. So if you did error message, I did must be 3 characters. Okay, we'll try it out over here. And then here we'll do error message equals, and I'll say this is required. All right. So we'll test it out. The best way of doing it is testing it out. And then we're also going to do it. It's cool that you can combine these. So I'm going to do min or max length 100. Okay. All right. And then we'll do, this one's required and has a min length and a max length. That's actually really nice. Oops. There we go. I don't know why you were hidden. Sorry. Went over my assistancy. If you ever have other questions, feel free to reach out to me. Yeah, cool. This one's required, has a min length, has a max length. This one only, see, this is kind of nice because you're validating, but also you're also doing it only on this line 2 compared to line 1, which has that has a required on here. So you don't have no min length on there, which is cool. City is required. And then region is required. That makes sense. All right. Those should be non-intersecting errors. Only one error should be possible at a time. I think so. I don't know. We're going to find out. I think. Like that's what we want to test there. Ah, I knew someone was going to ask. That is Power Toys. So we have Power Toys over here. Where'd it go? Power Toys has a I think it's mouse utilities. Yes, find my mouse. It's this enable mouse highlighter. No, that one. It's one of these. I just hit Control twice and it zooms in basically, which is nice. Yeah, Power Toys is what you want. Power Toys. There you go. There's a whole bunch of cool stuff, yeah. Is Zoom It integrated into Power Toys? It is not. It is not, no. It is not yet, at least. I'm sure one day. That would be nice. They do have a new version. It would be nice to have it all in there. That'd be cool, yeah. All right, cool. So now let's go back into our our checkout Razor. And let's go up here. So we have our... At the bottom is where we want to do it. So we have our edit form. So under the edit form, we want to do a validation summary. And then I guess it's required to do this data annotations validator. I guess it does it. Okay. In the edit, replace on valid submit place order. Okay. So this is saying instead of doing on submit, we're going to do on valid submit place order, because we'll know if it's valid or not. Just do it. You can now delete the custom server side logic. So actually all this stuff that we did, we can actually now delete over here. Now I don't actually know if this will solve our problem of spaces or not. That's what I want. Good, do it. Yes, create it. I do want it in there. The nice thing about Windows 11, although I'm on 10 right now, is Windows 11 has the zoom in and the sysinternal stuff in the App Store, which is really nice, which is cool. Let's test it. Okay, we didn't even do anything. Let's test it out. Way too big. Hello. Let's get a pizza. Let's order it. So if I just do place, oh, I didn't do it yet. Did I not save everything? File, save all. Must have an error somewhere. Oh, yes, I want to restart my app. Oops. It didn't hot reload. That's why. So there we go. Reloading. Did it load? Okay, cool. So now if I just do this, we get this on here. We may not want it down there, but I like that these are red too. And you probably want to fix that up to make that a little bit nicer. I don't know if you can change this stuff, but that's how it says this is required. Oh, okay. So this is required. So that's fascinating. So if I go to address, I'll say name is required. All right. So now here, I'll refresh it. Oh, interesting. I guess the data annotations don't come in. It says this is required. But now if I do 1, it says must be 3 characters. So you would really want to come over here and say like name must be at least 3 characters. And you'd want to do that. The annotations only get picked up on compile, which is interesting there. Can we get the error message next to the field? Yes. So in yeah, we're about to do that next apparently. So oh wait, hold on. Yes, we're about to do that next. Great ideas. You're ahead of the curve. So you're there. So yes, this is not the most ideal scenario here. So let's fix that up. You're on it. So right now, what we did is we said, hey, give us the validation summary. So we're going to remove that. So now if I do this, it's going to validate, but it's not going to do anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and say on our address editor, under each property, we're going to do validation message for, and then this has a funky syntax of at with a lambda of address.name over here, like that. So that'll output the message specifically for it there. So let's see if that works. Root edit. Boop, there we go. Name is required. Now if I do this, name must be at least 3 characters. There you go, that's cool. So now what we can do is we can do, for each of these, wherever you want them, line 1, line 2, city, region, and then postal code. All right, cool. So let's see what that does. That is a root edit. That's fascinating because I guess there's a function in here. So boom. And then of course, like line 2 is there. So that's good. Oh, and it does it like, whoa, as you're changing it. That's really neat, actually. Of course, it's going to look bad like that, but that's interesting. I'd probably want to like go fix up all of these. Oh, I guess I got to do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice. I probably want to fix up some of the spacing there too. Yeah. Yeah, Grady says we found that the summary doesn't work so well. No, it definitely wouldn't if you had like a bigger form. So yeah, that's definitely it. Yeah, I guess you could do it next to the form. You could probably format this. You could put it anywhere, right? So we're just putting it underneath it. So that seems to work fairly well. If I place the order, totally does it. I didn't have any pizzas in it, so that's good because I refreshed it. So boom, boom. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. We've set this up in 2 separate files, in the data mile and in the UX. Well, so you're setting up the requirements in it. You don't have to put the error message there. You can put the error message other places. You could define the message elsewhere, I guess, and do it there. So here, this is saying, let's add a custom error message for all of these, right? So if I copy this in, this is going to enable me to fix that up. So let's do that. Yeah, I mean, the model is describing the requirements, and then the UI is displaying where you want the UI to display, right? So I guess I need to do this. Let's see if that works. Add a pizza. Yeah, so I think that I think that's why you need to do the custom messages basically. It doesn't do it here for me, which is kind of good. It does it when I change focus now. It's kind of what I want it to do. Yeah. So it does it when it's off. I don't know why it was doing it previously. I think because I had multiple error messages set up. Yeah, it doesn't do it while I'm typing now. So I don't know what the difference was in it. Maybe it was when I did the validation thing. I don't know. But now it's not doing it while it changes it, which is the behavior I would want to have happen. I'm assuming you can also do it like only on submit. There's probably a way of doing that. Like this is on valid submit. Place order. Oh, yeah. So the other thing too is like, I think this data annotations validator is the thing that's validating it in real time. You know what I mean? So I bet if you did on submit here, I bet that you could do, this, var valid equals context dot validate, and I bet you could do if not valid return. We're just gonna see if this works. I don't actually know if it will. And then you would maybe remove this? Let's see. I don't actually know. Because I'm assuming the validator is doing it while you're doing it, but I'm not actually positive. No, that's definitely not why. We have to put that back in. No, you have to, it does it where it's there. And then when you do validate, that will validate all of them on submit. And there's probably a way to do it dynamically overall. So, oh, here we go. Maybe this is it. Restore the overall error message and disable the submit button. Okay, so let's try that. Let me redo what I'm doing over here. Put this back on valid submit. So this is saying on invalid submit, show an error. Okay. This one's saying do this has error. Okay. I named it has error instead of is error because that's just a James thing. Okay. So this is saying show error true. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so you could do a custom one. You don't need to show these validators basically, I guess, and you could validate different things. I'm not really sure. It's because it's inside the edit form. I don't know. Could be. I don't know. This is saying do has error equals false. So now what this is saying is that if I click on this, it says please enter info. It gives you the specific names here. So what you could do is you could do a custom error message on those forms if you didn't want to use the built-in validators there. It's kind of up to you what you want to do and based on what type of app you're doing. So if you wanted to, you could do different validators for each one probably, it seems like. I'm not really positive though. Oh, interesting. So this is saying, whoa, okay. Enable the submit button when all fields are correct. Oh, interesting. Okay, so let's move this over. So we have an edit form. It's also weird because it doesn't show the... So how would it know the model though? Oh, interesting. What? On initialized. Okay, so instead of doing the model here, this is going to do a... Okay. So we're kind of learning all these different things. There's an edit context. It says change the button to use has error. So this button disabled. And it's of type submit. Okay. In the code block, we're kind of like overriding a bunch of different stuff. It's interesting. So we have a edit context. Okay. And then here we're going to do on initialized. We're going to initialize it. So we're actually setting now the model and the code behind, which is interesting. And then we're saying on the field changes, then we're going to validate it. Interesting. Okay. Has error. Because I changed it because I wanted to. Okay, because we've done this, there's a dispose, so we want to get rid of this. All right, we're going to get rid of the on field changed. Oh, I need to implement. Okay, wow. Implement I dispose. Oh, that's interesting. I've never implemented an interface before. That's cool. Okay, so now we're going to do delete all references to is submitting. Okay, that makes sense. So is submitting. don't think we have any. Okay. So that work? Do order? Whoa, okay. Yeah, that one like updated all of them like as I typed. I don't know if that's what I want. Yeah, that seems also odd too. That it like puts all the names and stuff down there. Does this have a thing? Okay, let me see what it does. Yeah, so it does it automatically. I don't really feel like that would be what I want either. I think you have options is what it's showing you. Is like you can do that stuff. I don't really think that you would want it to fill it in, right? Like you'd want this to be red, obviously. So I'd say, okay, hello, and then it enables. So interesting. I feel like that's it's validating the entire context. So I don't like that approach as much because you're validating the entire page. You want to validate one field at a time. You know what I mean? I am hungry for pizza, except for I'm on the Atkins diet right now, so I need to go get some cauliflower pizza crust. That's what I need. So, but it's interesting. I guess there's different ways of doing it. So I think that's what I'm sort of learning here is like you can use the built-in stuff. You can do it per line. You can add a custom entry thing in here. You can see what's valid and what's not valid. And you can use those on valid submit, on submit, and invalid submit to decide what you want to do. So intriguing. Cool. Continue. We did it. Blazor provides many features. You can capture the DOM elements. You did this, blah, blah, blah. Unlock achievement. 5 stars. I loved it. Nice. So the next one we'll be doing next week or the week after, based on where I'm at, based on the state of the world. Build rich interactive components for your Blazor web apps. I like that because I'll be able to do a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah. Microsoft Learn is working together with Big Pizza to increase sales. That's true. That's the jam. You can see it's very sunny right now, so the sun is pouring in to my window, which means it's time for me to go. Just about. Let's see, answer questions. We went to build a validate field component and then back up with state service to get fine controller validation that we needed. That's cool. Yeah, I think it's very flexible, right? And of course, you could do your own. You don't have to use the EditForm, but I feel like the EditForm is good, especially if you're doing like simple data entry and validation, and especially enterprise apps seems like it's pretty spot on to use the EditForm control just in general. So that's kind of cool. I like that though. Yeah, I wonder if they go deeper into this. I feel like this got pretty deep into what exactly like we wanted to kind of learn. The first bits and pieces, I'll give this feedback to Jeff, is I think that it went a little bit like too deep in a weird way. You know what I mean? Like it gave you too much information and you didn't do as much as that information. So maybe that could just trim it down and put that somewhere else. I don't know, but anyways, well, thanks everyone for hanging out today. Super appreciate it. Thanks for all the sweet chats, and of course all of our members. I'm going to be doing some exclusive videos and streams and stuff like that in the future there too. So we'll see. Lex asks, how do you implement something similar to a data template load by type? I don't know. I don't know. I haven't learned that yet, so I'm not positive. Lex. I only know as much as you know now from this Learn module. So I don't know if they're going to cover that in the future one, but I would like to. Render fragment, but it's not the same at all. A validate field component. Yeah, listen, data template. I don't know. And data template selectors. Are there data template selectors in Blazor? I don't actually know. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess you could do different custom components. So the cool part here was like the edit form was in the main page, and then the actual like controls for each each part of the address were separate, so you could have like different address forms basically, I think, and then you can plug them into the edit form and they can do different validation based on that, which is kind of cool. So I guess you could plug multiple components into the edit form and then it would work well. So, I don't know. Why do dynamic page generation? We do dynamic page generation and need a lot more flexibility and validation. That makes sense, yeah. Flex says there's a specific VM type should load a specific data template. I guess, yeah. Adrian says I'm curious about the experience that we get after each lesson. Wonder if lots of experience are needed to be a Microsoft MVP. I don't think so. I think the experience and the levels are more for just you, I guess. I think if I look at mine, I have very little. I work here at the company, so I'm very, very far away from the experience, and I only have 7 badges and 1 follower, so I don't think so. Microsoft MVP is more about like community contributions, giving back, it's more about the gamification. If you want to build up points and get stuff, feel like you're getting stuff for doing stuff, and you do get badges and stuff and unlock stuff there too. But yeah, Microsoft MVP is really about giving back to the community, whether it's libraries, presenting, blogging, giving feedback on the product, contributing to the projects that are out there, a whole bunch of different things that are out there. So Kevin says, I'm using Xamarin to interact with a SQL database. So far, I've gotten it working well. However, it's been hard to get it working with MVVM. On SQL, like Azure SQL? If I'm interacting with Azure SQL, I'm probably going to interact it through a web API, like definitely not directly to the database. That's probably what I would do. So I would probably take a look at my web requests one in general. Yeah, and SQLite's just locally on your phone, Kevin. So it's that, yeah. That's cool. Yeah, we're going to be doing a bunch of cool, more community things, my team, to kind of help enable people to get a little bit more active and more involved in the community. So I'm excited about some of that stuff. So we'll see. So yes, I think the experience, it's like gamer points on Xbox. Like I don't have very many gamer points, but I feel good when I'm playing a game, and I feel like it's like my progress through the game, like how far am I getting there? Yeah. Nice. Yes, that's why I'm kind of learning this. Great Ideas asked about Maui and hybrid Blazor. That's a lot of what I am doing there. Yeah, so that's why I want to learn a lot of this stuff so I can actually speak good. Yeah, there. Kevin says, my boss writes C# SQL stuff. You should not connect to a SQL database from your phone. That's a terrible idea. Don't do that. You can do it. I guess if it's an internal application, 100%, that is not going out into the world internally, that is okay, but it is not a best practice. That is for sure. But I would imagine you would architect it the same as how I did in the SQLite version of it in general, because you just want to make those calls like some service layer between your database and your view model that you would call into it. But even connecting directly to SQL is very odd in general, because all your keys are then in your application to communicate with it. So if you're doing reads and writes and all that stuff is inside of it. So if that app like leaks outside of your place, there's that. Marcel says, thanks for the Blazor series. You're welcome. I'm hoping I'm doing okay. It's there. Yeah. Mr. N says, I think you are creating a great series here to learn Blazor. I'm hoping. I don't know. I'm having fun. I'm figuring it out. I still don't know if I know what I'm doing yet. I need to learn like HTML. Yes. Yeah. That's my personal opinion. Great ideas, because then you can have more fine-grained control over like what's being returned and how it's being returned. Because let's say you change your schema and you change other stuff, you only have to change your back end and not your front end to return the data. And in fact, normally what people have is you have a web API for like your websites. Then you have another web API that is your mobile. It's like a proxy, because oftentimes you want to return like less data or specific data. And you also got to worry about like different compatibility as your application grows. So definitely that's important to think about. But yeah, ideally you would build like a web API that you would deploy that talks to the database, and then you would call those APIs from it there. And probably that'd be way faster, maybe potentially too. Depends what SQL stuff you're using. But for the last 10 years that I've done mobile stuff, it's always been not a great way of doing it. Adrian says, finish your Xamarin Forms tutorials, helped me a lot. Awesome. Hope you do a personalized website too soon, like you did the Peloton app for Xamarin. Totally, yeah. Yep. Yeah, that too. Great idea. Says, you know, restricting based on user roles, record state, authentication, things like that. Now there is something to be said, and I don't want to like deter you, Kevin, because like there are totally apps out there that are like, hey, 3 people are using this app and I totally need to just connect to this thing and make it happen. I totally get it. I totally get it. You know what I mean? So I get it. As a best practice that I would recommend or tell people to do, probably not, but like, have people done it and have I totally seen them do it? Yes. There. But yeah, what I would end up doing, Kevin, is look at how I did the SQLite stuff, and instead of calling into SQLite, I would just make those asynchronous calls, like connect to database, get data from database, post data to database, and create that little service there in general. But I agree with great ideas here, which it's a great idea to hide those database calls behind a REST API in general. All right, I got to get out of here. I got to get more coffee, and I got to go back to work and do some pull requests to this Learn module that we did it. So thanks everyone for hanging out with me all day. I appreciate all the questions, the super chats, any new subscribers as well. If you haven't subscribed yet, I try to stream, you know, maybe once a week, maybe once a month. We'll see how it goes. But I put out new videos every week here as well. You can always reach out to me on Twitter and on GitHub down over there, all the things. Hope everyone has a great weekend and a great start to 2022. Stay inside, be safe, wear a mask, and have a good one. Bye-bye.